In this video, we're going to be breaking down how to shoot professional informative reels. This is something you could be doing for your clients as an add-on or even possibly turn them into a monthly retainer client. So we're going to break down how to shoot them, best practices, tips, share some behind the scenes. So let's get into the video right now. Okay, so first off, what are informative reels? So what exactly am I talking about? So essentially, it's a talking head video, kind of like this, but formatted vertically for Instagram reels or any short form content. And typically the subject in these videos are educating their audience, providing some information, giving some value, something like that in a short 60-second or so video. And you might be thinking, well, yeah, those are nice and those look cool, but it's like, why would a client honestly want to do those? Like, why would they book something like that? And first off, it shows that they are knowledgeable in their field or whatever career they're in. So obviously take real estate, for example. If you do these talking head videos with the reel and they're sharing market insights or just realtor best practices, makes them seem knowledgeable. And if a potential client sees that on social media, they might actually want to work with them for that very reason. But it also adds brand value, shows that they're willing to invest in quality marketing to represent themselves, and of course might lead to possible new clients for them. And to give a little bit backstory, this client, Majestic Title, is a title company that I've been working with for over 2 years now as a monthly retainer client, where majority of the shoots we do is producing these talking head videos. And the same tips that I gave is exactly why they do them. It shows how knowledgeable and educated they are. They're constantly sharing information that other realtors actually see and give them feedback on, like, thanks for sharing that, I didn't know that. And just constantly giving out real estate and title related educational information that is honestly helping them become known for that on social media, which is great. So let's start at the very beginning before getting to the gear, the shooting process, any of that stuff. And actually, a lot of this planning starts before the shoot. You want to be really prepared and your client, because otherwise it can be just an awkward shoot where they're sitting there on camera not knowing what to talk about and you're just like, I don't know what to do. So we want to avoid that at all costs. And so you want to figure out, first off, how many reels are you going to be shooting? How many of these talking head videos are you going to be shooting in that one sitting? Are you going to be shooting 1 or 2, which might be best to start with if you haven't done these before, or if your client isn't too familiar with being on camera? Or are you doing a longer day, doing anywhere from 4 to 8 like I did with this client? So before the shoot, you want to make sure that your client is on the same page with you in the sense of, are they the ones that are writing the script or planning these videos, or is it on you? So give you some insights on me. I don't do any of the scripting or that planning aspect for our clients. Most of them come with the idea. They jot it down. I give them tips on how to script something. That's something totally separate, but they handle it because, in my opinion, they know their business best. Why am I going to script something for them when, even though I know what they do, I don't know the specifics of it? They do. They know the best way to say it. So I'll gladly give them tips on how to script videos, how I script my videos in general, but I'm not going to sit there and script it for them word for word because that's not going to work out the best. So days leading up to the shoot, I stay on top of them and kind of check in and say, hey, how's that script coming along? What are we going to be shooting? So I'm most familiar with it, or give me a rough outline, and they'll generally send over kind of like, we're aiming to shoot these 4 videos. Here's the topics and the talking points. And that's at least a great start versus like being on set and like, I don't know what we're going to shoot today. Okay, so now moving on to the gear. If you have a video production background, you might want to actually make a really exquisite set, kind of like you would for a long form interview. But honestly, for something like this, it's not really needed. But of course, you can go as overboard as you want. But I'm just saying, think more minimal, a very stripped down version of that, kind of like I have right now. 1 camera, 1 lens, 1 light. Essentially what you need, just shot vertically. Editor Andrei here with a quick note, because I feel like I'm going to get comments about this. Do you have to shoot it vertically? No, but I will shoot it vertically if the only deliverable and the only place that these videos are going to live on is social media. Then yes, I will shoot it vertical because it's just going to look better. Could you shoot it horizontally, crop in? And yes, the argument where that's more versatile, where they can use it for other things, definitely, but these types of videos are not for that. I've had these discussions with them and other clients where the only place that these videos are going to live are on social media like Reels and things like that, so it just looks a lot better if you shoot it natively vertically for that orientation. So just wanted to make that note. Back to the video. And I actually filmed all the gear that I was packing the night before the shoot, so let's jump to that real quick. All right, so it's the night before the shoot, and I have everything ready pretty much because, again, this is all I need.
Keeping it very simple. Honestly, this is even more than you need, but I'll give you the types of things that you need. This is also because I don't want to get my couch dirty because I put this on the floor all the time. Powerful light. So aperture 300x. In the car in my trunk, I keep the light stand and the softbox, so that's in there. Tripod, one camera, so R5C, one lens, 24-70, that'll be on the tripod, easy setup, and then audio, which is the DJI mic that I'm using for this right now on my iPhone, which is really cool. So audio solution, DJI mic, super easy. And that's pretty much it. I have my gimbal in case we do any creative reels, but talking head, informative, that's all it is. Light, tripod, one camera setup, one angle, and you're good to go. So keeping it very simple. I have batteries charged, so because R5C needs a lot of power, I have that battery solution. Again, monitor if it was more of an in-depth shoot, but probably not going to use it. So, bonus tip for these long shoot days. Snack. These are actually really, really good. So that'll be mid-shoot snack.
So even though you don't really need a monitor, it's actually a really great thing if you do, if you're shooting log, because one thing that clients are not going to understand is like, why does this look so desaturated and flat if you play back a clip? Because they might be like, hey, can I see it back and see how that sounded? So if you have a monitor, even like I have right now, here's my monitor where I'm monitoring, my clip and it's color graded. I can see a real preview of it. That might be better versus trying to explain to them what log is. So that might be one reason to bring a monitor for that very reason. And then a second bonus tip is you want to monitor your audio live. Nothing worse than thinking you have all your audio set up correctly, you play it back in editing, and there's a weird interference hissing sound, or it wasn't placed properly and it's too muffled. What I do is I have a pair of cheap headphones that I just plug into my camera and I'll monitor the audio live, making sure it's at a good volume, there's no ruffling going on, clarity is good. You want to do that so you save yourself any headaches, and that way you can also play it back with your client. They can also just hold one earbud up to the ear and hear good quality audio and play it back on the monitor looking great, and you're just going to get a lot better of a feedback that way. My voice is almost gone, or at least it feels like it is, because before this I did a one-on-one mentorship call with somebody from my community. So yeah, extra plug, if you're interested in joining the community or having a one-on-one mentorship call, that's down below. Okay, now let's jump into some shooting tips, kind of some best practices that I've picked up along the way to make the shooting process go a lot smoother for you and your client. So one thing that you want to do, especially if you haven't shot in this space before, is to get there a little early before they plan to sit down. So let's say that they're planning to start filming at 10 a.m., get there at like an hour or 30 minutes before just to set up all your gear comfortably, not feel rushed. Have all the time you need to set up the shot, test it out. That way when they get into the hot seat, it's ready to go. And here's a bonus tip. Don't set up the shot with your client in the hot seat. It's just going to make them feel more anxious and possibly add more stress waiting to film versus sitting down and immediately start filming to get it over with. So once I find the spot that I want to shoot it in, and also pro tip, you want to shoot these in the environment that makes sense for what they do. So for example, they're a title company, we shoot it in their office. They have a wall that is kind of like a purple backdrop, which is their company colors, so it works great as a backdrop. I usually shoot it nicely lit and bright, not dark and moody. Like if say it was like a fitness client, you might want to shoot that differently. But for realtors, title, people in this industry, you typically want to keep it on the brighter, lighter side, not kind of dark and moody that you might like, kind of like this set, for example. But once I find the spot that I want to film it in, and I have the composition set up, I use myself as the subject versus having my client. Or maybe if it's not the main talent, maybe if it's like, the admin or someone else working there that has a little bit of free time, or if you have an assistant, these shoots go a lot better with an assistant shooter. You can have them in the hot seat and then perfect your scene, lighting, composition, things like that. Just works out a lot better. That way when your client sits down, they're ready to go. So now once you're actually shooting, you want to be able to learn to direct your client. Obviously this comes with experience once you do more of these, but even though they have the script that they made, it might not actually translate to the best type of video. So this is where you maybe have to be good, where it's like, hey, maybe let's cut this down a bit. Maybe that sentence you just said, let's change it up and say it this way. And honestly, they'll be thankful for your direction and really appreciate the fact that you're trying to produce the best video for them. And constantly giving them good feedback like, hey, that was a great take, you're doing great, will go a long way, because they're probably really nervous, probably not too familiar with doing something like this. So giving them that positive reinforcement will just give them that boost they need to power through the rest of it. And here's a couple of bonus tips for shooting. This one is actually really important. Depending on what your client does, for example, this is a title company. I'm not a title expert. It might be best to have someone there kind of monitoring, making sure that your subject is saying everything correctly. Because I might think they said that sentence great, or everything they said in the video sounded perfectly fine, but what if they said one thing wrong? What if they got some fact incorrect and it's really this? Now they might possibly post that video online, get called out for it, and it might do the opposite and not make them look so educated after all. So it's definitely great to have somebody there that knows the business, someone else just monitoring it, making sure that they're saying everything correctly, also giving any feedback if they might have any. So that definitely goes a long way, because now you can just focus on the shooting aspect, not monitoring the specifics of the script or what they're saying as well. My second bonus tip, if you're shooting on a hybrid camera that does photos also, is snap a photo of them in the set at the end of each video, because whenever they go post this video online, they're gonna have to just pick a random screen grab from the video as the cover photo. But if you take a nice photo in a already nicely lit set, it's gonna be a great portrait that they can use for that talking head scene. So at the end of each video clip, I'll say, wait, let's do a photo, quickly flip my camera to photo mode, snap those photos, and it's just an extra bonus for them as well. Third bonus tip for the shooting day is to pack a snack. For me, I always keep a protein bag for these shoots or anytime I go shoot properties, just because honestly, nothing worse if I am starving and get a headache because I haven't eaten, especially because some of these shoots for us and our clients might be anywhere from 2 hours up to 4 or 5 hours, depending on what kind of shoot we're doing, where we're trying to, batch shoot a bunch of content. And that's a long day, especially if you don't put a meal in between. So for me, I never leave the house without packing a protein bar in my bag, because that'll keep me afloat to the end of the shoot. So now let's kind of break down the formula, my simple formula that I use for editing and putting these reels together. I guess this kind of should have been before in the planning aspect, but we're getting to it now. But essentially, this is the formula that I kind of give my clients whenever they're having trouble scripting it, or kind of just giving them the general direction of what these videos are going to look like. And pretty much you're going to start with a hook. Your first sentence is going to be a hook. It's not going to be something like introducing themselves or immediately jumping into the information. It's going to be a hook to where someone that is scrolling through social media, scrolling through videos on TikTok or Instagram Reels might catch their attention to something that they're, if that typical video is going to relate to them or not, followed by a problem and solution, or just general information and a call to action. So for the title company, the two subjects that are always on camera is the marketing director and the owner. And Christina, which is in marketing, she always has kind of like a general educational approach. It's basically some sort of hook, the information, and the call to action at the end is just a very general reach out to her at Majestic Title for any other questions. And then Karen, on the other hand, does a Dear Karen series where she presents it with questions that she's been asked by other clients. So some sort of question or problem, then the solution, followed by the call to action. So if you stick to that formula for these informative videos, it will be a really easy way to structure these, especially because they are typically around 60 seconds or so. Try and aim to have them under 60 seconds, not longer than that, because that way it can be shared on every platform like Instagram Reels, Shorts, Facebook videos, TikTok, anything like that. So that's just a good sweet spot. Plus, after that, anything longer, if it's like a 1.5, 3-minute long video, someone on social media is not really going to sit through that. So short, sweet, to the point is what you want to aim for these. Now let's talk about how you should try and convert these to a monthly retainer client. Obviously, it's great if you get that one first shoot with them, and it's even better if you bundle a lot of these together, batch shoot this content to give them even more deliverables and possibly a higher price point, but they're not going to really see the same return if they don't do these on a monthly basis, because let's say they book you for one video shoot, a half day where you shoot 4 reels, then they post all 4 of those that month. Then what? They're not going to have anything else for the following month, might not really see the traction from those 4 initial reels, especially if they don't have a social media following to begin with. You really want to pitch the fact that they got to try these for at least 3 months. Ideally, forever going. These clients, like I mentioned, have been with me for over 2 years now. every single month. That same monthly subscription drafts. It's great for me and my business because you know that real estate has its up and downs, busier seasons than others. This is going to stay the same. It's going to be that same monthly retainer plan every month, providing me and my business a baseline instead of each month starting at zero. And you don't have to get them to sign a contract or anything like that because I don't do that. We don't even do that for our clients because I always say that we want the quality work we deliver, the experience, everything for that to be the reason that they stick with us, not I got you locked in for this 6-month plan. I know it's a pain working with us, but at least I got you. Like, that's not what I want. Like, if it's not a good fit, which it hasn't been in the past for others just because they can't keep up with it or the expense, that's totally fine. But the clients that have stuck with us and constantly do these every month see the return, and those are the clients that we want to work with. And my last bonus tip is to have a plan variety. So what you want to do is maybe spend a little time to come up with, say, 3 different plans: a starter plan, a standard plan, and a pro plan. And because my business is a real estate creative agency, I'm going to just use it as an example. So for example, our first plan is aimed for that independent realtor, that one standalone realtor with a smaller marketing budget that wants to produce, say, 2 to 4 reels a month. Then that standard plan is maybe 8 reels a month. Maybe this is targeted toward a real estate team, so a bigger, more established team that might have more of a marketing budget and wants to produce a lot more social content. Finally, that pro plan might be for brokerages, which we have one brokerage under this plan. It's our biggest plan, and it's great because we do like 4 to 5 shoots of them a month. We produce a lot of video and photo content for them. We have a custom curated plan for them, and these talking head reels and other creative short form content like event videos, listing videos are all a part of that. So definitely spend a little time to come up with your plans and your pricing. That way when new clients approach you, you know exactly what you're going to be pitching to them. And I know I might get railed for this, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I live by this, and that's how I've grown different aspects of my business. When I first started doing these, again, being a real estate creative agency, and we were doing just property shoots, listing videos, listing photos, and I wanted to tap into this market, I offered one of our clients to do these free of charge. I know, before you run to the comments, hold on. I wanted to shoot one of these without the pressure of having to deliver a great quality product to them that they paid for. So doing it this way, there was no stress behind it. I could produce exactly what I wanted to, the vision that I had for it. And when I sent it to them, they're like, this is great. How can I do more of these? Here's the plans, here's the pricing for it, and of course it led to paid gigs. And I want to say that I was really smart about this because I didn't just go and book this shoot without, for free, without doing something else. It was at a property shoot that we're making money, offering this as a free add-on, for the first time just because I wanted to try this. And that's what I've done with other things. Whenever I was only doing listing photography and I wanted to get into listing videos, I offered a free listing video to one of our clients. And again, there was no pressure or expectation there, so I got to create exactly what I was trying to produce, and it worked out great. Obviously, after that, once I have stuff to show for it, now I can charge what I want to charge. I feel like it's definitely very looked down to do stuff free of charge, and I understand. I'm not advocating that to just go do everything for free, give your time away, nothing like that, but be smart about it. If you're wanting to try something new, like these talking head informative videos, try and give it as a free add-on for whatever next shoot you're doing. So you're already there making money, you're set up, you're getting your time paid for, but just offer this to just see if you can create what you're wanting to see if it's for you, and if it works out, now you have something to show to book that next paid gig. I know that was a mouthful and a bit of a rant, but I get a lot of comments about that. How dare you do something for free, this and that, but it's like, I think it's how you go about it, being smart about it is the best way to just take that first step into whatever that new thing you want to offer. So that's pretty much it. That is a look into how we produce professional, informative reels in my business. We do these for a lot of clients, mostly in the real estate space. Honestly, I'm pursuing to bring on more clients to do these because of that monthly retainer model. It's great reoccurring money for me and my business versus just relying on property orders to come in during the busy or slow season. And honestly, me being just really big into cinematography, filmmaking, video, this is where I feel like I really get to utilize a lot more of my skill sets, not just shooting property videos, but nonetheless, it's a big aspect of my real estate media business. And so if you're looking to get into something else and you're currently just doing properties, this might be the thing to get into. So leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down your thoughts, subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for you guys to be part of the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.